Gambit to back away. So a little bit of hesitant there. We did see the Massacre being used by Darren just to get some additional lifesteal back, but it is a fairly short cooldown. It should be up by the time we start this next Dragon fight.
Froggen once again looking to see if they can catch out Darien, but he's playing a similar game of his own, actually just waiting on that side brush to see if anyone joins Wicked towards this top lane. In the end, it looks like both Wicked and Froggen are going to be recalling. Darien's going to get himself another wave of farm, quickly cleared out with that Ravenous Hydra.
Yeah, he's going to be able to make his way down towards the Dragon Pits. 30 seconds till it's up. We have 2 Randian's Omens on the side of Alliance to reduce the movement speed that Gambit have on their side. I wouldn't be surprised to see Diamond grabbing himself one in the not too distant future as well, because both of these teams are going to thrive on mobility. The one thing that Alliance really needs to do is use Shook's kick to kill somebody without losing Shook. Every time we've seen Shook diving in to pull off one of those, Dragon's Rage kicks backwards, he goes down. They got, 1 kill onto Genja, but it hasn't been teamfight changing. It hasn't been game changing just yet.
You can see Dragon now live. Gambit on their side of the river. Alliance just clearing out wards from middle outer brush, and they've got positional advantage right now. Gambit have got vision of them thanks to that ward in there, and they are moving in.
So distinctly different. Alliance have Wicked with them as they start this fight. They're not relying on the teleport. Gambit are going to respond way too late, and Alliance just get that incredibly quickly. That's 4 dragons out of 4 right now.
Hit and run there from Alliance, showing some solid dragon control throughout this game. There's still wards up by Baron. Gambit, let's not forget, have already started off that Baron once, whether that was a realistic chance at Baron or more to draw someone out, which they actually did with Tabs coming in there. Actually, Darien is going to go up the front side and will be clearing out that pink ward that was put down earlier. So Gambit have all the vision there. There's actually not a single ward for Alliance around Baron.
Yeah, on the way up, Darien was just able to clear out a bunch of those wards now himself, and I think for Gambit, the game plan is to force a fight once again. Every time Gambit have taken advantage, has taken towers, it's when they invaded and they instantly peeled and started a fight. They did Baron, they instantly peeled and started a fight. Alliance have been fairly well positioned to not give up more in those circumstances, but as it stands right now, Gambit are just looking for those engages. They tried to get to Dragon, but they were a little too late. They're responding a tiny bit too late in game, and with the amount of vision that Gambit have now got in and around their red buff area, they may want to try force another Baron play.
They're on towards Diamond. Shook trying to get in there. Good stun from Edward, though. Not stop him coming too far forward and going for that kick. And Alliance realizing it, they will back off once again. We saw briefly Alex Hitch farming that bottom lane out. He's now added the Lich Bane into his Nash's Tooth and Rabadon's Death Cap. He is, I said it before, scary, I think is a bit of an understatement even now.
Yeah, I wonder if Gambit now want to try to control these side lanes at all. We haven't seen them going for any sort of concerted split push type of effort. I think they want to stack all of their abilities together because they have a strong 5v5. Nef right now is just warding up the river. Wicked is pushing the bottom lane. He's on the inner turret. Gambit, they've started Baron off, and Alliance are close enough to respond. His vision.
It is going down so very quickly. The Wicked is now going to teleport in onto that ward. The hook lands on towards Diamond, but it was his decoy. They're going to get the knock-up. Wicked has to have the wild growth onto him. Takes the lantern back. Diamond doing good damage. Tabs is having to flash away. I don't think he's escaping this one. No. Genja will pick up that one. It's 5 versus 4. What do Gambit do? Do they turn around and go for Baron? Do they chase? They're going for Shook, but he might be able to run rings around him. There is a good slow. Flash tries to get the Q on towards Edward. There are the slows coming in. Alex Hitch is godlike now on Kale.
That was a brilliant turn from Gambit. The moment they see members of Alliance in that teleport coming in, they threw everything they had at Alliance. Even though Alliance were actually able to wait out most of that Cyclone, it was too long. They had taken too much damage on Froggen. He was a little on the side. The Baron's still going on, and Froggen are trying to interrupt.
Wow, he goes so very low, though. Takes the lantern away. Almost paid for that one with his life. This is going down. Picked up here by Gambit. First Baron of the game. They've not taken a single dragon, but Baron control is theirs.
I think Gambit have won every single team fight. They won the first dragon fight, they got 2 kills. The next dragon fight, yes, they lost dragon to Shook stealing, but they got more kills in the scenario. And in these fights so far, Gambit is just showing that the Sivir plus Wukong plus Aatrox is more effective at sticking to a target and killing it. Alliance have a lot of tools that they can do similar things with, but unfortunately, when they stick to a target, the intervention is doing wonders. It's saving Gambit's team members, and Alliance are not getting the kills they need to win those team fights.
Looking like Alliance's good run of form here in Super Week may well be coming to an end. I don't want to count us out too early here because if we look at the goal, just 2,000 is what separates them. We've seen now that Alex Itch in these fights is just such a big, big factor. 7-1-2 now. I checked his goal a couple of moments ago. He's actually gone back home, so he's going to be coming back into lane with even more power to add into those team fights. And his splash damage just destroying them if they group up.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the comps, and part of the reason that Gambit are able to destroy Alliance right now is because of the number of damage threats on the side of Gambit. You do have a lot of damage. Oh, they've jumped in on Diamond.
Yeah, but it's not the real Diamond, it's a decoy. Edward is going to get slowed here and stunned up, but can they finish him off? Good ultimate out of tabs on Draven, but just not enough damage to finish off Edward. And if they can't single out one target like that, how are they going to get any more?
Yeah, and very good use of that talisman. As soon as Gambit realized something was up, Edward throws down the Talisman of Ascension, and Gambit managed to peel away. Wicked does have his Guardian Angel, so he's feeling a little bit more confident getting stuck in there in these team fights, but they need to get a priority target. Doesn't land the hook. No hook,
no luck for Alliance. Can't push on through that one. We've got Froggen on the bottom side. Actually needs to be a little bit careful here. He's going to face up with Diamond, actually get some decent damage down onto him, but Diamond able to walk away, and he's going to regen that up all very quickly with that Baron buff on him. Alex Itch, by the way, with that cash I was talking about earlier, picked up a Void Staff, so yeah, beast.
Yeah, his damage is very, very good. With his current build, you actually seen he almost one-shotted Froggen in that previous Baron fight. And it's one of those situations where even though the Q is a little bit nerfed, Alex Itch and Kale has got enough items to balance up for it, and the power has been moved. Now, if Gambit want to start a team fight, they could go for another Darien Tower dive, use that Bloodwell to regen, and that's pretty good poke. Alliance are clearing this wave fairly well, but outside of that Glitzer Lance, they don't have the largest amount of wave clear.
So their Lee Sin's Q landing. Darien actually does take even more. There's a hook landing onto him. They're going to try and finish him, but intervention is used. Well, I think wisely there, Gambit deciding to run away.
Yeah, smart decision. It's not over yet. Alliance wants more.
Well, Wicked moving forward. There's the ultimate hour of Draven. It does catch them, but not enough damage to get the kill. Alliance still chasing a little bit from this one. Actually, Gambit just going to back off towards the Dragon, but I think Alliance might want to fight for this.
So Cyclone is still available. If Alliance come in grouped up, Diamond can interrupt. It's gone too quickly.
Too slow, but there are the talismans for both teams popped, and they kind of run around in circles and end off going in different directions. They need to be careful here, Alliance, that Gambit don't just head down this mid lane, though. They've all backed off and are recalling. They might be too slow to defend this inner tower.
Yeah, in that situation, you seen as Gambit were peeling away, Diamond was just sitting on the front line. He could get a multi-man knockup. Now, because of the damage they've got, that tower is melted like a hot knife through butter. Gambit give themselves a 4,000 gold lead. They got the previous dragon. They're stealing jungle camps on the way out as well.
And it's off the, I mean, we get to praise Gambit quite often, but one thing that they do, for me, better than possibly every team in the LCS, that when they have a lead, they're so decisive about how they finish off games, how they push down objectives afterwards. Okay, they've got the Baron here, and they've managed to take that inner turret now in the middle lane. It limits Alliance completely. They can't really afford to head out into their own jungle without having full vision control. We can see on the top side, they're only a couple of wards down. They're basically flying blind on the bottom side.
Yeah, and I think this is the best performance that we've seen from Gambit all week long. It is very controlled and it's very coordinated, even though Gambit have been very, very aggressive. The moment there is even the hint of a fight, Gambit have thrown everything they have at Alliance. It's worked in their favor. They were a little bit behind in gold for the first 25-30 minutes of the game, and thanks to this controlled, coordinated aggression, I think is the best way to put it, they've managed to come out on top. And like we said, because there's so many damage threats, because you've got Wukong in there with his Cyclone being an interruption, Aatrox that deals damage, Sivir that deals damage, Kayle that deals damage, Alliance haven't been able to prioritize somebody. They killed Genja in their first Dragon fight. It didn't matter, because the rest of Gambit were able to clean up and get themselves 2 kills.
Just want to run through the items picked up by Gambit actually in the last couple of minutes. Mikael's Crucible for Edward on Annie, Guardian Angel for Darien, Infinity Edge for Genja, Randuin's Omen complete by Diamond. That's some big items coming in there. I'm not sure that Alliance are going to be able to stand up to the pressure. They've already been losing team fights coming into this point of the game.
Yeah, as it stands, Gambit has got all the tools that they need to maintain control of this game. They were playing from behind a tiny bit earlier, and they were making their compositional advantages work in their favor. Now that they got the item advantages as well, and we've seen them tower dive, I almost feel like Gambit may try to pull Alliance towards him for Baron before forcing an inhibitor fight, and it does look like that's the decision making. All of Gambit are grouping up around Baron. I'd like to see them putting down some more wards and pulling Alliance towards them, then just instantly once again peeling, using that movement speed from Kayle and Sivir to jump on Alliance's head and win a team fight. They've caught Diamond!
Oh, they've caught Diamond, but he's going to knock a couple of them up there. I don't think he's escaping though. Good pick here from Alliance. What does that lead into though? 40 seconds until the Baron actually comes up. What a 55-second respawn timer there on Diamond, so he's not going to be around when that Baron comes up. This could be the chance for Alliance.
Alliance need to make this count. You can see they're trying to get as much vision around the Baron pit as possible. Gambit maybe a little overgreedy there. Diamond gets caught out by Alliance as they actually turn the aggression on. You see the Talisman of Ascension was used. Tabs has built himself up 1,200 bonus gold from his passive and securing those 3 kills, and Alliance making it very clear. They want this Baron. You can see Wicked is split pushing on the inner turret. Either way, it's going to give Alliance an advantage.
6 seconds until that one comes up. Genja is joined by Darian and Edward on the backside of that pit. Wards put down.
Guardian Angel and Bloodwell. Even though Gambit are less on numbers, they have more lives to play with. We'll see if the fight breaks out.
Get that GA on Shook is now complete as well. The Baron going to get started. Wicked, yeah, Wicked is teleporting in towards the backside of it. Baron is going to be pretty low by now. In fact, he's falling a lot faster than they expected. He could be taken down. He will. They flash in, going for it. There's a blade coming across, but Shook will secure Baron number 2 here over for Alliance.
That was a little bit half-hearted. Gambit didn't really go in for the fight at all. And Alex was chasing down Wicked, preventing him getting to the rest of the Gambit team. So Alliance got the inner turret and the Baron, and now they have arrested control of the game. 1-on-1 as far as Barons are concerned. And with Alliance having that advantage of the Baron buff, it may be what they need to help win these team fights, because truthfully, until this point, it has been more about Gambit.
Guardian Angel there for Alex as well. This is something that, well, Gambit like to do, don't they? Get as many GAs as you can in there. They've got Aatrox, who basically you have to kill him 3 times over at this point in the game to actually get rid of him, which is never an easy thing to work out. But Alliance taking a leaf out of their book, you know. Wicked has one in Aurelia. We have one on Lee Sin as well. Guessing we're going to see a couple more appearing before the end of this game, because right now Alliance have just taken that power swing. We'll see what they can do with it.
Yeah, Froggen's also got his hands onto that Void Staff as well. So now all of that damage is just going to be amplified, getting through all of the magic resistance that's sitting on Gambit's side. We talked about how these fights are already going to be prolonged and drawn up thanks to the mobility and the saves that these teams have. Thanks to these GAs, it's going to get even further extended. Shook being a little overextended there, but they got the Talisman. They got it down, so that's a small win.
A small win that, you never know, those small things can come back to haunt you a little bit later on. If Gambit want to disengage, they still have Genja's ultimate though, should they need that boost.
So we need to be looking for 2 things here for Alliance. Either Shook is going to be the one going in, which is why he's up on the front line. He's looking for those sonic waves. Alternatively, at their centers, unless Diamond just gets caught up, he needs to be a little bit braver there.
Oh, the hook comes out. They managed to catch Darian out from this one, but Alliance decide not to go full on in on towards that one. Slows coming across the entire team. Minions now coming up this middle lane. Will they go for that tower? Will Gambit stick around to defend it? No, they won't. They're backing off. Alliance take that inner turret.
Gambit don't want to fight Alliance while they've got their Baron buff on, unless Gambit can find a pick. Once again, oh, they've caught Edward.
They've caught Edward, but again, not falling through, but the Draven damage is just too much. Tabs picks up that one with his ultimate. That leaves them now 5-on-4. They're surely just going to bully themselves in on towards this inhibitor turret. That goes down. The inhibitor's going to fall as well, and would you believe it, the first inhibitor of the game goes to Alliance.
This is a phenomenal turnaround for Alliance. They've been even on gold. They've been losing team fights. They're not done yet. Look at the damage on Darian. Alliance are now going to try focus down the bottom lane inhibitor turrets.
The hook doesn't quite land, but Tabs is off for the side again, doing some good damage. Genja going pretty low. There's the intervention used. Darian is low. Diamond is low. Gambit are falling like flies. The box is down. And Darian, I'm not sure he's going to be able to escape. He does jump. He's got his GA now, of course, which is going to keep him alive longer. Flay comes in. 3 men are dead for Gambit. The second inning goes down. Alliance are going to look to win the game right here. The first Nexus turret is falling. That's going to go down without a problem. Only Genja and Alex are really able to stop this one. They can't stop happy. Alliance turn around the game, go 4-0 in Super Week. What a win!
Absolutely incredible performance from Alliance. They were losing team fights for so long, but they found a pick, they found a Baron, and they were the ones that wrapped it up. From getting that Baron to winning the game was less than 2 minutes from the time it happened. They dove onto Gambit, were not afraid. They go 0-4 in their first showing in the LCS. Week 8 Super Week, they go 4-0. Brilliant performance.
Absolutely incredible, and we kind of wish that we were going to have a follow-on of great games that we've had in these last 2 days, and that was a great way to start off the day. I'm not sure I'm actually going to survive until Game 3 if they continue to be this good, but what a performance. We talked about Gambit, they took that first Baron. They didn't have any Dragon control. That's something that Alliance did so well throughout the game that really kept them so close, and that gold throughout it despite losing towers.
Yeah, Alliance actually had the gold lead for most of that game, albeit it was very, very small.
Yeah.
It was about 1,000, 1,500 gold, and it was in part because of those dragons. The one problem for Alliance is it took them so long to ramp up. They needed to get so many items and really hit that power curve at about 38, 39 minutes. When they did, though, they made it work. They really found the targets they wanted to. The team fights that they won were the ones that won them the game.
And I have to say as well, a couple of players getting caught out a little bit there by Gambit to open things off. I'll also say, you know, keep that credit rolling for Alliance, that the hooks from NIF, when they really countered there in those team fights, worked out brilliantly. Tabs, we've questioned his positioning a little bit earlier on in the season. He got aggressive in position there, but we saw how quickly they burst down. That kill onto Edward, he threw the full combo at him. That gave him the 5v4 and allowed them to just finish the game there.
I'm pretty sure he two-shotted Edward. He got an auto attack down, and I think one more, if not the second, then the ultimate was able to kill him. And because Edward's Tibbers wasn't available, there was no more utility or stuns there. And unfortunately, just Gambit didn't have the numbers. They didn't have the tools to deal with Alliance. For me, that game was very, very good in the way Gambit played. They were always riding that very, very aggressive edge. They were always in Alliance's face. It cost them, because I do feel like the blue buff steal split up when a Baron's about to respawn, maybe not the best of decisions, but Alliance capitalized on it.
And showing us as well that Kayle is not invincible. I mean, this was a 7-1-2 Kayle with 435 farm, Death Cap, Lich Bane, Void Staff, Nash's Tooth, and a Guardian Angel with the intervention on top of that as well. Couldn't pull them through the game.
Even more than not invincible, I like the fact that she's still relevant. You know, we've seen such a sharp drop-off in Kayle picks because of those changes to a Q. But, you know, Alex made it work. It was a very good pick. A lot of those team fights and those interventions very early on were perfect. They had a bigger impact in the first 30 minutes of the game than the Wild Growth did. And there was a 5-man knockup from Wild Growth. You've got to keep that in mind as well.
Well, guys, we're going to head off Rift for just a few moments and catch our breath. And when we return, Shox and Deficio will be speaking to Alliance's Froggen. And then we'll head into our next match where SK Gaming take on Ro8. But first, we asked the European LCS pros what other positions they like to play. And some of their answers might just surprise you.
My second best position right now is AD carry. I often do that in solo queue for mechanics and just having fun.
I would probably play mid lane because mid lane got the same impact on the game as jungle.
In the current meta, I like to play Garen top or Zed mid lane. So those two champions are interesting.
I like to play like Pantheon and Vi right now because from a support perspective, those kind of junglers are really annoying. And I just want to do the same and annoy people by it.
I think I will play probably mid because it's like you can push the lane all the time and roam and kill the guys.
Support is definitely my best position, except for Lee Sin, because I'm the best Lee Sin in our team.
Well, since I am the best Lee Sin in the team, now I don't know.
I used to play in jungle, but that was like 2 years ago. But I don't remember how to jungle anymore, so I'll just probably go mid.
I like jungle a lot. I'm not good at it a lot, but I have a lot of fun with Lee Sin. My insects are awful, but I don't care. I still try, and I tell them when the game starts, my insects are really bad, but forgive me if I suck with them.
Welcome back, Super Weekers. Deficio and I are joined by Alliance's mid laner Frog to talk about that victory, which gives them the only perfect record in the Super Week. The dream is alive. Frog, and a very good job from you guys here versus Gambit. Take me back to the start and what you really wanted to get in picks and bans.
So obviously Kassadin is our first priority no matter what, but almost everybody bans it. And then our second priority was Lulu, and they didn't ban it, so we basically just went for it because it's a really, really strong pick right now.
And what about this Draven pick? It was banned yesterday against Tab, so Kassadin was actually left open. This time around he got it. Tell me about Draven.
He actually likes to play Draven a lot because it's a really good champion. He's solo queue and he thinks it's fun to play. And so he basically just wanted to go for it because usually Edward and Genja is playing quite passive. So you can get up the stacks and like you basically just need one kill and then it counts like as 4 or 5 kills if you have enough stacks, and it's really good.
And how do you feel it is then to play with Draven? If you have Lulu mid, for instance, or do you more prefer Caitlyn as more standard AD carry? What do you prefer as a team?
Personally, when we have Lulu, we would prefer to have Draven. That's also why we went for it this game, because it's really, really strong. And Draven can put out so much damage with the Lulu ultimate because he can't die.
Tell me about their picks as well, because they immediately locked in the Wukong and the Sivir, and we know that you guys like to run that in combination with that Aurelia and Lulu even. Did you have to change your plan when they went for that?
No, we had a pretty solid plan, and we didn't even plan on picking those champions. And Draven actually does really well against Sivir as well. So it's not really too much we were worried about, but they ended up with a really strong teamfight comp that was actually stronger than ours, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. In that early game, very strong teamfights from Gambit, and we actually have a nice example of one of those.
Yeah, if we bring up the replay, it's from the 24-minute mark at Dragon. You guys go in for the team fight after Sugar actually stole the Dragon. And we have Wicked, he's going to teleport in, start the fight. And if you can just talk me through what's going wrong for you guys, because you actually end up losing the fight.
Yeah, so here, Shug basically stole the Dragon. And then we wanted to back out, but we see a lot of them are getting really low. Wicked is in a really good position. Darian is taking a lot of damage. So I tell Wicked to jump in. And then I'm going to Lulu ultimate on top of him, and then we're going to try to teamfight. So that's what's going to happen now. And then basically, Kayle is running right at us and just popping her own ultimate, and we blow way too many cooldowns on her. Right now we have 3 or 4 people focusing only the ultimate, and he flashes out, and that basically makes him win the team fight here. And that's basically how it went. We only went for the team fight because we thought we were stronger after we stole the Dragon, because they had a few people that were slow.
And we actually also saw Shug jumping in there, kicking Sivir back to you guys, but nobody really changed towards her to start attacking her. Communication in teamfights, who's running that? Because we saw yesterday, all of you guys, you were just yelling out targets. Do you feel like it's maybe not working too well communication-wise, or do you like it that way?
I think it works really well. The only problem is Shug doesn't talk a lot. So like he might or might not have called that he was kicking Sivir into the team, which, but usually he doesn't talk a lot, so we don't really, like he's not like really, really loud person that's like, will shout like Aranea, that's like, okay, he's actually like, something is going on here, right? You need to focus on that. He's not that kind of person. So I think it's us, we have to like be more aware of what he's actually doing on Lee Sin and which targets he wants to go for.
So you guys, obviously, this fight, Kayle was already super big. Tell me a little bit about the evolution of the game and your ultimate versus Kayle's ultimate, and how strong it was at which point, and when you were able to grab the game back in your favor.
So I think Lulu ultimate is more effective because it's way easier to use than the Kayle ultimate. Kayle ultimate, if you time it really well, it can be stronger than the Lulu ultimate, as it can absorb way more damage. But that's the Lulu ultimate, where it's also a huge knock-up. So I would say it's pretty even with those 2 champions. The only thing Lulu has is like you can double Q when you have the picks on one guy. And that's really, really strong because it can hit multiple targets, whereas Kayle can only hit one target with her Q. And since Kayle is nerfed this patch, like actually pretty big nerf to her Q. Like, I feel Lulu is stronger.
And now, if you guys going 4-0 this Super Week, everything is looking great, playing so well. How far can you guys take it here? Have you really found the playstyle for Alliance to show that you can be a top team in Europe, or do you feel there's still some issues you need to sort?
We still have a lot of problems, and you saw it this game as well. Like, we actually pretty much lost till we called out the Diamond and we got a Baron off of it. And then we basically had TP as well, which could put down some pressure so we could keep splitting them up. But I don't think we were supposed to win this game. Like, they pretty much had it in the back.
So tell me then about the final moment. What was it was going through your head? Was it 4-0 the dream, or was it, yes, my super team is actually coming together?
I was 4, definitely. But, like, the only thing that's like been going really bad for us was like the first Super Week was like 0-4, and we were like 6-10 before the Super Week, so we're going 4 now. So it's like keeping up with like even uneven weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job. Congratulations once again. And now we're going to flash back over to Joe and Quickshot for Game 2.
Thank you very much, guys. It is time for our second game of the day as SK Gaming take on Ro8. And of course, Overpower's dominance in the mid lane has been a key component in Ro8's rise to the top of the league. And thanks to his unconventional playstyle and champion pool, this Polish powerhouse has earned the respect of his opponents.
I liked Overpower for a long time as a player. He's very special in his playstyle. He's playing very unorthodox.
You have no clue what he's gonna do.
Whoa! In the early to mid game? Well, Huey.
What is going on?
Maybe he tried it in the solo queue and he liked it, and that's why he requested it.
He's going to be able to just melt a carry. So this is the pop. I mean, I'm anticipating 1, 2, 3. I mean, what more are you going to say?
He has his unique playstyle that differs a lot from any other mid laner.
I'm not quite sure what Overpower is planning on doing with that Spurt Stone.
Very interesting itemization there from Overpower.
But I think he knows what he's doing, so that helps his team a lot as well.
He's going to go for Alex. He's got no mana to escape. They both flash. One more swing of the sword will do it.
Great reactive flash from Overpower, allowing Ro8 a strong early lead.
I don't really think that I play differently. I can just play as everyone. Like, I can just farm. I can do a lot of ganks, so it's a pretty normal stuff. Yes, I think I play really good. It's one of the best times in LoL for me now, and I think I improved a lot.
He's playing really good all the time, pretty much. And there was some point when he played even better than now.
Yeah, I guess it was nice to see myself in the top of the All-Stars players for the mid lane. I think it's really good for me, and mid in Europe was always the best one, so I think it's really nice to be in the top